Well, good afternoon. I'm Princess, Franchi in for Malcolm Jarrell, and this is a special edition of Black and White TV. I have a great show for you today. I am being joined by Angela and Maya, who has started a new online show called #Enough with the exclamation point. Don't forget about that. They have already tackled some pretty tough issues on their first couple of episodes, from voting rights to the deadly shooting of Xavier Hill by law enforcement. So I am really interested in hearing from them. And by the way, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. I'm going to be monitoring the chat. So if you want to send us a question or something like that, go right ahead and do that. And we'll try to answer as many questions as possible. But I want to first welcome Maya and Angela to the show. Hey, what is going on, ladies?
Hello.
Hey.
Man, well, I've been trying to get you guys on the show for a couple of times. I know you went on calls, conversations, so that I'm a little jealous, but that's all right. I got you here now. I got you on here now. And so I want to get right into it. Going to start off with you, Angela. Sorry about that. Your name starts with A, so we'll start with A.
Is that why I'm always last?
But wait a minute, Maya. Wait a minute. I introduced you as Maya and Angela this time.
You're right. So, you're on top, Maya. So.
Okay.
So I did. I switched it up a little bit. So we'll start with Angela with the questions, though. Tell us about the show. Tell me about #Enough.
Well, we're a show that we are talking about and having conversations about real issues. We want to address pretty much things that affect our everyday lives, things that have to do with politics, definitely current events, lifestyle. Some of our shows are pretty heavy, like the Xavier Hill show, but we want to keep it light sometimes and just really address the things that people want to know about, people want to talk about. And we're not experts, but we just like to talk and we like to explore ideas. That's what we're doing.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Okay. So Maya, to you. Question. Now, #Enough, you are associated with the grassroots organization called #Enough. That correct?
Yes.
Now, can you tell us how that relationship is? Like, what, do you talk about things that they're doing now or what?
Well, the organization focuses on helping your community. So the things that we focus on are things that affect our life or affect our community. So there will be a time when I'm sure they're doing an initiative and we'll speak about that as well. But sometimes it's just like we talked about voting rights, that affects us. And I'm sure enough the organization does things with voting rights, like voter registration and stuff like that. So it's not directly the exact same. We don't mirror it, but the person who started that organization started this show. So
And that's Gary Holland.
yes, Mr.
He's
Hall.
the Mr. Holland, man. I'm telling you, Mr. Community Organizer. And I'm
Yes.
glad you talked about voting rights. So I know we're not going to go into no deep 100 yards. On your first episode, ladies, you did talk about voting rights.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all like, oh my God, really? We forgot about all that stuff. Don't worry, I got you. Don't worry about that. And because I'm HR1 is still going through. So it went through the House, passed the House, got to the Senate, the U.S. Senate on March the 11th. And that's the For the People Act. And so my question is, this is more of a prediction of how you feel with everything going on, the filibuster in the Senate. Do you think we're going to see HR1 pass this year?
Yes, I do. I think they're gonna
okay. This is gonna
figure
be
out a
good.
way to get it through. They're gonna end the filibuster, or they're gonna do some type of amendment thing that Stacey Abrams said, and they're gonna attach it to something, and it's gonna go through. Because if you ain't listening to Black women by now, then you must be in Mars. And I know everybody's listening to what Stacey says, so it's gonna go through.
Everybody. She declared everybody. What do you think, Angela? What's your prediction?
I predict it will go through. And one of the reasons is because I read an article in the New York Times, I think it was the New York Times, recently about how Republicans are actually backing it because, and these are everyday Republicans, maybe not the senators, the ones in the Senate and the House, but because of the part of the bill that addresses campaign finance and the fact that right now it's overwhelmingly controlled by corporate interests, and that the everyday person does not have a good handle on, how politics is moving. So I think it will. I think it will pass. I think it has to pass. And I heard Raphael Warnock make that point. It has to pass because it's the cornerstone of democracy, is protecting our voting rights. And you see how each state, how especially those battleground states, are instituting laws that are trying to get in the way of voting. So the Congress has to step in, has to make that change.
Wow. I hear what you're saying, ladies. I absolutely hear what you're saying, but I am skeptical that it will actually pass this year. And I say that because unless they do change something with the filibuster, I don't see the GOP actually voting for it, especially now since they're making so many different laws trying to suppress voting.
Yeah, I think they will change the filibuster. They're going to have to.
Okay, so I'm going to put that on your column, and we'll come back on this one when they vote, when the Senate votes on it. Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay, wow, interesting. Okay, so I want to talk about Virginia a little bit because we're all in Virginia, and I know there's some big elections happening this year. So Maya, I know you got something to talk to us about, but I want to start with Angela. Look at her face like, what are you talking about?
I know,
Don't
right?
worry. Yeah. So Angela, how do you see this election for Virginia for this year? We got the governor's lieutenant governor. We already down to the Stafford County's board of supervisor, the school board. I mean, is this an election year that people really need to be concerned about in Virginia?
Yeah, I mean, every election is an election that people need to be concerned about, and I think what the challenge is going to be to get people fired up for local and state elections in ways that they have not been before. So that is the mandate that those of us who are really trying to get people politically engaged, that's what we have to do. And we have to keep young people engaged past the presidential election. I think, we definitely had that kind of engagement for the presidential election. But we have some really good candidates running. And, that's the key. You want more than one good candidate running for office so that you can have a good choice to make. And you're not just making, the lesser of evils when you're making your choice. So I think this is going to be a really important election, and it's going to say something about how especially minority and underserved communities are engaged and making sure that, you know, they're represented on all levels of
Now,
government.
so that's a great point. Talk about all levels of government. Since that's why I'm gonna come to you, Maya. Because if I'm not mistaken, you're running for a position on the school board. I guess
I
that's a
mean,
no.
it's that I have not made any statements.
Okay, okay. So do you want to do it officially? Make a statement here, or in fact you
No,
do not?
I'm not
Okay,
ready.
you're not ready. Now let me. No pressure. No pressure. That's not true. No pressure. No. It's like that's not true. Pressure her. Pressure her. No. But let me ask you a question. If you were going to run for school board, a position on the school board, what would be one of the things that you want to see happen?
I would love to see so many things happen. I would love for transparency and compassionate common sense to come into play. And with all due respect to the individuals who are now on the school board and the people in the past, I've always had an issue with lack of transparency, or at least I don't see the transparency, right? Maybe they just need to communicate more and let us know more of what they're doing. And then, just common sense type stuff. Like some things just seem just really awkward. Like, did you really mean to do some of the things that you set in place, because they're really counterproductive. So I would just like to focus on like getting them to be transparent and let the parents know what's going on. Let's make decisions based off of common sense and not spend $100,000 to have someone come and do a survey or whatever. And then they still like do something different and they don't even use what they paid for. So like, just,
Wow.
I don't think it has to be. I know it's hard. Don't get me wrong. And with all due respect to those people spending all their time, I just don't think it needs to be that hard.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, Angela, are you with me in trying to get Maya to run for on these positions?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, I understand why you asked that question, Princess, because a lot of people have wanted Maya to run for the school board
Something.
because
Okay.
she has been.
Again, we're not pressuring you.
Yeah, it's
Maya.
not. But she's an advocate. It's a decision that everyone has to make because
Yeah.
there's a lot at play. So, but what we need is someone like Maya in that position, because we need someone who is, first of all, has been on the ground in the sense that they've been in the schools. They have children who are in the schools on all levels. They've experienced it. They've volunteered. The things that Maya has done, they've been advocates, gone to the school board meetings, and petitioned for things that we need in our schools, and not just for their school in particular, but for the school, the county-wide benefit. And for equality and equity, we need someone to do that. So, I'm with you, Princess, and urging Maya, but I do understand Maya. However you
Okay.
make that
Fine.
decision, I would love to see, and I wish you were in I was in your district, because I'd vote for you if you ran for sure.
Well, can I say one thing since y'all talking about me?
Absolutely, Maya. Absolutely.
I will
Please speak
say
freely.
that you need more than one person to make a change. You need 4 votes because there's 7 members on the school board. And so I will say that, you can get one person in there, but if they don't have the votes, then a lot of movement doesn't happen. And the only way in particular for Stafford County to have some changes that will benefit the entire student population, which is majority minority. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The only way that we're going to have everyone to benefit is from having a diverse leadership at the school board level. And the only way that happens is if different people run. If we have, 6 people who look like they could be cousins, and it's the whole playing field is all them, right? And that's how it's been for 50, 60 since Stafford County was ever incorporated, then that's all we're going to get. No disrespect to them. And you can look like cousins and still make great decisions, but you still are coming from a particular place. You have walked through this experience with the same experience. They haven't had my experience or Latina's experience or someone who's differently abled experience. So it is up to communities of color, communities of individuals who are marginalized. They have to figure out how to get past the I don't know what to do and just do it.
Okay, so I understand that, but in terms of making your decision, I think from my little foxhole, from my perspective, is that we at least have to have that one to show that we can do it, which kind of leads me to my next topic, ironically. And because I have two Black mothers on the line, amazing women, this is going to be, I'm excited about this because we made history this year. I mean, we are in this year.
Oh, we in? Okay.
I'm just saying, I have to
Black
be honest.
women?
Yeah, Black women. I believe Black women, we are in this
Okay.
year. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So last year, Kamala Harris was chosen to be the running mate for Joe Biden, who is currently the president. Now she is the vice president. Maya, I'm going to start with you. When you heard that Joe Biden picked her to be his running mate, what was your reaction?
Oh, I was happy because she was my person who I wanted to be president. So
okay.
I was like, oh, this never happens. Maya never wins. Maya never gets her way. So I was I was a little bit excited, so much so that I made a Facebook group.
Oh, wow. I don't know about this group.
Because I'm 13. So, it was like, oh, I'm going to make a group and I'm going to invite my friends. And that's what I did.
Oh, I wasn't invited, but that's okay. Yeah.
I didn't know you then.
Yeah, I got it. So I should see an invite before the end of the night. No,
We're going to send you an invite.
Yeah, I'm going to get you
no pressure. No pressure on running for office. No pressure on inviting me to your group. But now, Angela.
Yes.
November came.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. spoke loud.
Mm-hmm.
And on January the 20th, she raised her hand and she swore in to be the vice president of the United States, the first Black female, the first South Asian female to be the vice president of the United States. What was your reaction to that? Now, first, let me qualify this. Doesn't matter about political party.
Right.
I said I don't want to deal with because she's, her political party. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that, oh my God, I saw me. That's my reaction. What's your reaction?
So my reaction was elation when she won, because it was a hard fought battle, right? That we even got there. So I think it was a sense of just relief that we got there, that nothing happened. And it was a little bit of holding my breath to the end to make sure nothing would happen, because people are crazy and they've shown themselves to be crazy. So I think I was watching it with my mother, and it was a great moment. I can't even really describe it, but then I can also say this, but leading up to that, Kamala Harris was the smartest woman on the stage most of the time. And so my thought is like, why are we just here? Why is this the first time?
I would say she was the smartest human on the stage.
Yes. Okay.
So, I mean, she's clearly qualified. Clearly qualified.
But now before we get to Gary Holland's question, I'm gonna mess you both up. Imagine for a moment, if you would, you are in a room full of young Black girls, and you now have to give them a message of encouragement. Because this is like historical. This is like, oh my God, this breaks all kinds of thoughts. What started with you, Maya? No, I'm gonna start with Angela because I'm gonna transition here. I know. I'm gonna go with A. I'm gonna go hard question. Yes. What will you say to this room of young Black women, Black girls?
This is the sign that if you fight hard, you have to fight for everything you want. And that this is a door opening that we have to continue to push forward. Mm-hmm. Started with Obama, started before that, Shirley Chisholm. Mm-hmm. It has been always a constant elevation for us And we have to keep that momentum. We have to keep fighting. We can't get complacent. We have to keep fighting. That's it. I mean, and because I know that Black girls are just as capable or more capable sometimes because of all that we have to go through to do anything. So that's not a question. I think a lot of times we know that about ourselves, and girls know that about themselves until they're told differently, right? So just continue to tell them you are great and awesome.
Yes, yes. Okay, Maya, what you got for me? What you
I
gonna
would
tell us?
say to the young Black girls, I would tell them to never shrink.
Oh,
Don't
wow.
minimize themselves to make other people comfortable, to
Mm.
embrace their Blackness, to never shrink away from being labeled the angry Black women. I'm labeled that all the time. I'm gonna be angry, but I'm also gonna tell you off with all the big words. So you can call me whatever you want to call me, but I'm gonna be right. I would just,
Awesome.
affirm them and remind them that you've got to study your people's history because it
Wow.
props you up. When you understand that, like I look at Bernie Sanders and how he kind of shifted the Democrat Party, like the whole platform in the course of like 8 years, right? But that's Jesse
Yes.
Jackson's platform when he ran for presidency.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Know your people, know your
Know
history,
your
because
people.
most of the stuff that we're out here talking about now came from a Black person. You just have to know
Mm.
which one. And if you don't
Wow.
study us, you'll never know that. You'll just think I'm just saying it.
Wow. So Gary had a question for you, Maya. He
Hmm?
says, how many people, Gary had a question for you. He said, how many people are in your group?
About 210,000 people now. But not all of them are my friends. Like I did invite my
I don't
friends.
know if I think I froze like, oh, oh, I can't breathe. No. Can I have like a tenth of that? No.
Wait, the important thing to note is Maya invited me early on as a moderator to that group. And that has deepened our relationship and friendship, and sometimes camaraderie, and sometimes combativeness, depending on the day. But that group grew to that size within weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. It was
Excellent.
Yes.
crazy. We didn't do anything. I've only let 2 posts through ever that said, "Hey, people, invite your friends. Let's try to grow the numbers." I've not been about
Wow.
how big the group is. It was about how much fun it is, what we can learn, the content that we have, supporting
Yes.
each other. So I never really cared about like, oh, let's have a big group. Like like I said, I invited my friends. I thought I'd have maybe 100 people.
Wow, man, that's amazing. Okay, I know we were kind of getting close to time there. I want to talk about your last episode a little bit. You ladies had the opportunity to sit across Latoya Benton. She's the mother of Xavier Hill. Xavier Hill, for those who probably do not know, who's not going, knowing what's happening here in Virginia, he was shot and killed by law enforcement. So, Angela, if you can quickly give us an overview from what you understood happened, how Xavier Hill got killed.
So early January, I believe, Xavier Hill was late at night, was driving, and he was speeding, or at least the police say he was speeding above 90 miles per hour. And the police flagged for him to pull over, and he did. He pulled over. But as the police stopped their car, one car with two police officers in it, he then tried to make a U-turn and ended up in a grassy median. This is outside of Richmond, I should say, Goochland County. And so the state troopers, they were state troopers. The state troopers then got out of the car. They shouted, to put your hands up, put your hands out, a lot of orders. And he said the only thing that was heard by him in the dash cam that was released. And I understand there were other videos that we didn't see, but dash cam that was released, you could not see him, but you could hear him say, "I can't open my door." And then you heard the police say he has a gun. And then within really a minute or so, like probably less than that, they shot him and killed him. So, and then they proceeded then to look for the gun, found a gun, and then pulled him out. I didn't see them administer any first aid or
First aid.
anything. Mhm.
So let
And
me
that
ask
was the
you,
end of his life.
when you sat and talked with his mother, what impact did that have on you?
It had, I mean, talking to her was something I think I wanted to do immediately, because I could just sense and feel in her desperation
Mm,
to say something, to talk about who he was instead of how he died. And
mm,
also to get justice for him, because so often when these things happen, there's more effort and time put into um, defaming the person who was killed, the victim, than there is in even evaluating what the police did. And that's exactly what happened in this case.
Mhm.
And so it was an honor to talk to her. She's a very engaging person, and in spite of it all, she is really fighting hard, and I have a lot of respect for what she's doing. And in the position that she's in, she has fought. She's fighting for her son and his legacy.
wow.
So, and we should all do that, because this could have been anyone. It could have been my son. My son is the same exact age, graduated from
Mm.
a Stafford County school as well. So that was my. It was an honor to be able to talk to her.
Yeah.
So Maya, what was the biggest takeaway you received from that interview?
Um, I was so upset with how many questions the family still have. So I
Mm,
understand the process of investigations. I understand how, they had a grand jury and the grand jury decided not to go any further. I get all those facts, but the families still have questions, and it's very detrimental to not answer those questions and give them closure. So I don't know what it takes for the state troopers or sheriff's office or police, like depending on your jurisdiction, but someone's got to consider the families in these incidents. It
mm,
doesn't matter, guilty, innocent, or whatever mistake. They need closure. People can't move on. He was her only child, so. Yeah, she
wow.
deserves to have her questions answered. And even, I mean, I have no idea. I'm not a lawyer. You know, maybe she would sign something and not ever talk about it publicly, but you need those
You
answers.
need those
I can't
answers.
imagine to just not have closure on someone I love. I don't think I could handle that.
Wow, excellent point. We're getting really close to the end, and I want to talk about your show really quick, because I know you guys are on every second and fourth Saturday nights at 7:30 Eastern Time. Hashtag enough with the exclamation point. Now, some of you who's watching us may have missed that amazing interview that Maya and Angela had. No worries. You can go to our YouTube channel at LCPM Network and you can watch that video. That interview is powerful and it is amazing. You definitely want to catch that. And again, that's LCPM Network. Before we go, I want to know from you guys what's coming up next on hashtag enough. What can we expect?
Uh, well, we're going to talk about stuff.
Okay.
We
Hey,
haven't
that's fair.
finalized the next episode yet, so I
Okay.
don't know. Or maybe we did and I didn't read the chat, so I don't know. Angela,
Excellent.
you answer that one.
No, I know. I thought you did great, Maya.
Yeah,
That was great.
okay, she did
We're
great.
about to talk
Hey,
about stuff. You just got to
you know,
tune in.
you just got to tune in. That's
Exactly.
going
It's
to
going to
be
be
what,
something
next
important.
Friday? Not this Friday, but a Friday after this one.
That's
Friday after
correct.
next.
That's right. So
Mhm.
you guys will be on there at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for honoring me by coming here on Black and White TV, talking about some issues that are still important and are still current in today's environment. And I want to thank all of you who've been watching us tonight, and I see your chats in there. Love you. Thank you so much for joining us. And hey, we're about to go tonight, but I want you to be encouraged today to send your questions in still. We'll go back and answer them. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. Don't ask me what Twitch is, but you can also follow us on Twitch. I know it's a gaming platform, but we're on there. And hey, do me a favor, go to our YouTube page, LCPM Network, like and subscribe to that page. Hey, by the way, this is Princess. My amazing guest today is Angela and Maya. I start off with Maya and Angela, so I'm going reverse now. So don't be hating on me. And again, I want to thank you ladies for showing up for us. And this is Princess. Until next time, live a purpose-driven life and do it on purpose. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen.